just based on everything that is happening in the news cycles right now, all of the things that we're hearing and learning about, just in terms of the violence that patriarchy really is responsible for. And it's not even just, you know, not even a choice to, put romantic love on the back burner. In a lot of women's cases, it's our sense of safety.
Life or death.
It really is life or death. You wonder why we chose the bear. Well, this is the reason why we chose the bear. Like, everyone's like, oh, you're gonna die alone. I'm just like, that might be how I get to an old age, is by being alone. Because when you hear cases like Giselle Pellicott, who was married for 50 years, and for the last 10, her husband was drugging her and allowing men to come in her while she's unconscious. If you cannot trust the husband you've been with for 50 years, who the can you trust? That's crazy. It's not an isolated incident. It's not. We are finding out in real time that these are not isolated incidents. Terrifying. Do you know how asexual I am right now? Dating? No, thank you. I'm gonna be at home with my cats, my dogs, my birds, my girlfriends, my TV shows, my work that's fulfilling. I'm gonna be at home with and pour into the things that pour back into me, and try to lessen the risk to my life. So now I'm planning all kinds of travel through Europe and Africa with friends that love me, and meeting up with friends that love me in other parts of the world. And I mean, it makes me just so happy and so pleased. I wake up to unconditional love from my puppies. And they bring me so much joy.
If you're so happy and you're doing all of these things, why are you constantly talking about men? Why are you constantly talking about men? You don't want to be bothered with men. Men are these monsters, and you choose the bear and all this stuff, which everyone knows you don't choose the bear. Your whole life, you chosen men. You chose men. But I was about to say something else, but I want to keep this PG. But yeah, you don't choose the bear. Your whole life, everybody knows what you chose. But anyway, she's going around saying these things, and I can't help but think that, you have the means to pretty much do whatever you want in this world. You have the means to get away from men. The types of men that she was dealing with for many, many years in her life, she doesn't have to deal with. She didn't even have to deal with them when she was dealing with them. She dealt with them because she wanted to. She was addicted to that lifestyle. Like I've talked about in other videos, the woman's from Canada. She didn't come from the trenches. She's from the same neck of the woods as fucking Drake. You didn't have to be a video vixen and this and that. You over the most part, come from a relatively privileged background. But yeah, you're going on and on about how all of a sudden now these men are just monsters and this and that. Well, if you look at all the videos prior to recent videos, she's always talking about how wonderful her life is, and she couldn't get enough of men. And I remember one video she was talking about how she was hood famous, and she was really relishing it. She seemed like she was elated to experience all of these things. Like, she loved the fame, she loved the attention, she loved knowing that guys were thinking about her and stuff. But now she pulls a 180. Men are these monsters just popping out of the bushes, just attacking women. So my question is this: if you have the means to pretty much block women out of not block women, but block men out of your life, why do you keep talking about relationships? If relationships is not what you want, you're tired of guys, stop talking about guys. Focus on the animals. You love animals so much, why not post content about you taking care of animals? Join PETA or PETA, however the heck you say it. Join that. There's lots of videos out here. There's a lot of content of people showcasing their pets, their dogs, their cats. Do that. If you look at Melyssa Ford's channel, it's all relationship stuff. Men. Don't like men, but constantly talking about men. Men. That's all this lady does is talk about men, relationships. Come on. If you love animals so much, focus on the animals. Focus on the cats. Focus on the dogs. Tailor your content around that. Center your content around that. Why are you focusing on something you don't like? Now, I can see maybe if the things that you don't like is like it has some sort of huge effect over your personal life, then I guess, sometimes we have to, give attention to things we don't like if these things are really affecting us in a very negative way. Now, I'm pretty sure her counter argument would be, well, men are affecting me in a negative way. I got to see them every day. They keep hitting on me. And then they're like, come on, shut up. Come on, for real. All you got to do, what, that men are hitting on you in your DMs? Well, ignore the DMs. You know, block them. I know there's ways you can kind of filter out messages from people you don't want to see. What, you got to go into work with deal with men? No, you don't. You don't work a normal 9 to 5 where you got to be harassed and stuff like constantly. What, you got to go into some video shoot and be harassed? No, you don't. I'm pretty sure you're getting residuals or something like that, royalties or from those videos. I don't know how that stuff works. If not, regardless, apparently she has saved up lots of money to where she can do the things that she likes freely and not have to deal with people she does not like. So if you're in a position to where you don't really have to deal with the things you don't like, why do you keep posting about the things you don't like? Because I get it. You have some people online, they talk about how they hate their 9 to 5. They talk about how they hate the family and this and that. And they're doing this to vent because they constantly have to deal with their family. They constantly have to work that 9 to 5. So they're just trying to vent, man. I get it. Like, if sometimes you just gotta vent. So I understand from that perspective. But when you're a person, you finally escape whatever it is that's bringing you pain and misery and suffering. Why continue to talk about it? Oh, what? You're doing it for the women, the other women who don't have a voice in that? Come on, man. Come on. I can see, I'd probably accept that excuse if what you said is true about how there are so many women out here getting murdered by their husbands, because she said that. She gave some story about how there are women out here just getting slaughtered and drugged and this, like, that is not the norm. That's like a 1 in a million type of thing. She found some little article and is basically trying to make it seem like that's the norm. Like, men are just these monsters out there just murdering their wives. That would be the equivalent of me saying women like Loretta Bobbitt, the chick or the woman who cut her husband's penis off, is the norm. Like, women are just out here cutting their husband's penises off. Like, or they're doing that to their boyfriends. Like, come on, that's not the norm. So that'll be like me going around on this crusade telling guys, oh, guys, don't date women. Don't do this. Women are monsters and because see, they're going to cut your dick off. Like, come on. That's not the norm. Now, I think I talked about this in another video recently. I don't know if I posted it yet. But if you want to make the argument that emotional abuse is a norm, okay, that's a fair point. I think there's a lot of psychological abuse. And, like, if a person doesn't want to deal with that in a relationship, or I can see not wanting to be in a relationship because of that, because that is the norm. And if you're a person that's not about that kind of stuff, I can see why you wouldn't want to be in a relationship. But again, if that's how you feel, okay, do you, and just leave it, drop it, leave it at that. I don't think that's something you need to go on a crusade about, because at the end of the day, all of the talking as far as, oh my God, you guys, you got to watch out for this, watch out for that, avoid this emotional abuse and this narcissist and that narcissist. At the end of the day, people are still going to be dating people. People are still going to be getting involved with narcissists. Like, I have a very strong views in terms of relationships and not tolerating certain BS from people. But I don't center my content around that stuff, because I know at the end of the day, you can tell a person a billion times to watch out for this sign, watch out for that sign. At the end of the day, they're still going to do it, So I can understand maybe saying certain things every once in a while, but when your whole channel is just constantly talking about other, like bro, like, come on, dude. Like, come on, bro. Really? Like, if you love animals so much, why don't you dedicate that much time to the animals? Why are you dedicating all this energy to stuff you hate? Come on, what about the animals, Melyssa? Think about the animals.